Dreamlines of Africa, reading cultural landscapes to remap or redesign Africa in words. Landscapes can be designed with words. The finest example of that being the dream or songlines of native Australians. Inspired by this, I have been trying to read cultural landscapes to draw similar dreamlines in the form of stories. Of my 3 novels on this line, I shall focus here on my latest novel, Catch Your Thunder, Rendezvous with the End. This work starts the ambitious project of doing continental-scale landscape design in words. Time limits me from reading from the book. Instead, I will briefly explain why it is important that we read cultural landscapes. Reading cultural landscapes helps us deconstruct narratives unfounded on reality and recreate newer narratives based on landscape legends, rituals, and stories. We are people of folklore. Reading cultural landscapes helps us interpret folklore credibly. For those who care to read, landscapes always tell a story. Reading cultural landscapes makes us read our heritage positively. For reading landscapes is reading possibilities or capabilities. It's reading the spirit of the place, the genius loci. Landscapes, as well as the people living them, are fluid. Reading cultural landscapes makes us read our stories at a bigger spatial and temporal scales. It makes us connect our discrete and unsung stories of heroism into a pattern. Stories of cultural landscapes often are stories of minorities and of women. That helps us free our history from the tyranny of winner and men-dominated narratives. Religions of landscapes, of rebirths, of thanksgiving are dominated by women. Reading cultural landscapes helps us complement the religions of transcendence dominated by men with this. Personally, reading cultural landscapes makes me realize that I, as a man, am not fully qualified to tell the stories of humanity, the stories of women in particular. Men can only see half the face of women, says Catch Your Thunder. It makes me realize that stories of superheroes, which mostly are supermen, is fake. Stories of landscapes are stories of true human values, stories of the possible. Moreover, reading cultural landscapes shows me direction in my action as a feminist, and the direction of our redemption as people. Last but not least, this art makes us reconnect with our landscapes at a bigger scale and unite to preserve our common heritage and work towards our hopeful future. One of the dreamlines I drew is that which I call the dreamline of the life force. The story about this dreamline relates the journey of one of my characters to discover Africa's mystic ring of power. In the landscape ring of power, the character discovers fire from the Eritrean Sea comes through the Great Rift Valley to impregnate Africa. That mystic energy gets transformed in the womb of the Black Earth, and the watersheds thereof gets transformed and flows back to the sea as water. You'll see the examples of the dreamlines I drew from the PowerPoint as we go along. As stated, Catch Your Tender, Rendezvous with the End is conceived with a grand vision of remapping or redesigning Africa based on cultural landscapes. In this first book, it introduces the issue or the style and calls African scholars, storytellers, and other people to come together to rewrite our past as well as our common future. I believe such ambitious goals could best be achieved through mythological stories such as my stories. We, as humans and Africans, have a stronger affinity to such stories that weave patterns out of chaos and help us figure out our destinies. I hope my call will be heard and I will be able to continue this project more systematically with the sequels of Rendezvous with the End. Thank you.